Hi everybody, welcome back. In my last video, I read to you Look on the Bright Side by Christy Reed. I also talked to you a little bit about positive thinking. So I talked a little bit about how sometimes it's really easy to think negative thoughts. Those are the thoughts that kind of focus on the bad side of things. Everybody gets them sometimes, and like I said, they're really easy to think. But if we're always thinking negative thoughts and that's all we focus on, it's going to start to make us feel really unhappy. It's going to really start to make us feel down. So that's why it's important to focus on the positive things, or to do some positive thinking. That's looking at the bright side, looking at the good things that are happening. So I thought that I would share with you one of my favorite quotes, and this quote is awesome for when you are learning about positive thinking. It is, "Your mind is a garden, your thoughts are the seeds. You can plant positive flowers or negative weeds." So weeds are just those plants. They kind of pop up in your garden that don't belong there. They're not supposed to be in the garden. They might not look or smell as good as the other flowers. Sometimes they have thorns or like little prickly things on them. And what they do is they make it really hard for the flowers to grow. Maybe they kind of take up all the space. Maybe they crowd the flowers. Some weeds even kind of like wrap around the flowers and make it impossible for them to grow and be part of the garden. So what a gardener needs to do when they see those weeds, they need to work on their garden. They need to go in and pull out, weed out all of those weeds and get rid of them so the flowers can grow and the garden can be beautiful. Our brain is the same way. Sometimes negative thoughts, those negative weeds, will just pop into our head. We didn't try to think of them, they're just there. And they bring us down, they make us feel bad. So what we need to do, just like gardeners, is when we hear that negative thought, take it, pull it out, get rid of it, and then plant a positive thought instead. I know this morning I woke up, my mind immediately had a negative weed in it. It's snowing again. This is gonna be the worst day ever. As you can imagine, probably wasn't very happy when I was thinking that negative thought. So what I needed to do was get rid of that thought, put a positive flower in there and think, but you know what? The sun is shining. It's gonna be a good day. I've decided I'm gonna make it a good day. Then I felt a lot better. So today what we're going to do is we are going to actually make our own positive garden. And it's kind of cool because it's an activity, but it's also a challenge. But I'm not gonna tell you the challenge part yet. That's going to be at the end. What you will need for our positive garden is, first, some paper for the garden. If you want to use like brown paper for a garden, kind of like the dirt in a garden, go for it. That's awesome. I do not have any brown paper, but instead of focusing on that negative weed, oh, I don't have any brown paper, I'm planting a positive flower and thinking, hey, at least I have some paper to use. This will work. I can make it work. So, some paper for our garden. I am going to be using 3 pieces of paper. If you want to make your garden even bigger though, you can use more pieces of paper. Then we're going to need some more paper for our positive flowers we'll be making. I picked some purple paper. You can use whatever color you want. If you don't have colored paper, that's okay. You can use white paper. You can get some crayons, markers, decorate those flowers, make them beautiful. That would look awesome too. We also are going to need something to write with, maybe marker, maybe a pencil. And then we will need a glue stick or tape, both work. And finally, we will need some scissors. If you have kid scissors, please use the kid scissors. If you only have these grown-up scissors, please talk to a grown-up in your house first, make sure it's okay with them. And then also maybe have that grown-up stay with you, or an older brother or sister, just be with you while you're using them, just to make sure that everyone is safe, no one gets hurt. So we have everything we need. Now we can get started. I'm gonna move some of these things off my table so I have some space to work. Alrighty, so I have my 3 pieces of paper for my garden. I want to tape these papers right next to each other so it creates one big paper. So first what I will do is I'll get 2 pieces and I'm gonna line them up so they're touching and there's no crack, just like that. It'll be much easier on a hard surface flat like this. When you have them lined up so there's no crack showing between the 2 of them, I'm going to get some tape, or you can glue. I'm going to use tape here and tape them together. Just like that, easy peasy. Then we want to include that third piece of paper. So again, line it up so they're touching but not overlapping. And again, I'm going to get my tape. Tape is a little bit long. That's okay. Tape it together just like that. But we actually don't want to see the tape for this activity, so we're gonna flip it over. See how it looks like one big piece of paper now? There we go. Our garden is set. So we're gonna set our garden to the side for a minute. And now we're gonna make our positive flowers. So I have my purple paper. Before I get started, what I'm going to do is first fold my paper in half, hamburger style, like this. Kind of like, so it looks like a birthday card, kind of. A birthday card would look like that. And then I'm going to fold it down the middle, again, just like that. The reason we're doing this is because we need to cut out a lot of flowers, and if we just draw them and cut them out one by one, it's probably going to take us a long time. But this is a really cool trick that will make it quicker. I'll show you in 1 second. So now we're going to draw our flower on this. First, we're going to draw a circle in the middle of the flower. There we go. Just like that. Then we're going to draw some petals around it. Now, it does not matter how many petals you do. There can be lots of skinny petals. There can be a couple bigger petals. Flowers look all sorts of different ways, so it can be any kind of flower you want. Or you can just make up a flower. Maybe it's a flower no one's seen before. That's okay too. All right, so now that I have my flower, we are going to cut it out carefully with our scissors. So I've got my scissors, I'm gonna cut it out. Being extra careful, I'm cutting out this shape. I'm excited, I think this flower is gonna look really nice, and I'm sure whatever flowers you're making are gonna look beautiful too. So for this video, I'm just gonna cut out this flower right now, just because I don't wanna have you guys sit there and watch me cut out a ton of different flowers. You probably get kind of bored from that, and I don't want you to get bored. So I'm only gonna cut out a few, but for this activity, the more flowers you cut out, the better. We want lots of beautiful, beautiful, positive flowers. And then when you're done cutting, you will have 1, 2, 3, and 4 flowers. That is why we crisscrossed our paper like that, because we were able to cut out 4 flowers at a time instead of just 1. So we just saved a lot of time. And like I said, we want lots of flowers, but I don't want you to have to just sit there and watch me cut them out. So I have a lot of flowers that are already pre-made. See, lots of flowers. So let's get our garden again. Here it is. Garden is blank. We haven't planted anything in it, but oh no. Just like I said before, sometimes without even meaning to, without even trying to, those negative weeds just pop up just like that. So now I want you to think about, what are some negative weeds that have been growing in your mind lately? What are some negative weeds that just keep popping up out of nowhere? I know one that probably a lot of people are thinking is, I'm stuck at home. So I'm gonna write that. I'm gonna write that negative weed down on this paper. I'm stuck at home. Ugh, man. And I know I said another one already that I had this morning. It's snowing. Ugh. A negative thing that I hear a lot of kiddos say sometimes is, this is the worst day ever. So I'm gonna write that down. The worst day ever. What are some negative things that have been bothering you? Maybe you really miss your teacher. It's been a while since you've been able to see him. So I'm gonna say that, I miss my teacher. I miss my friends. Those are some things that I think we're all probably thinking. You can write them down. Let me think of one more negative thing. Ooh, you know what? I know that when I was a kid, sometimes when I would look at work that I had to do, like worksheets and stuff, I would look at them and I would think, this is too hard. I can't do this, before I even tried. That's a negative weed. So I'm going to write that down. I can't do this. It's too hard. Those are some negative thoughts. So let's look at this garden and see what you think. Ta-da! You're probably thinking, that's not a very beautiful garden right now. It's kind of empty. It's got a lot of negative weeds in it. I'm looking at it right now. It's not making me feel very happy. I'm feeling a little bit frustrated, a little annoyed, a little bit sad. These negative weeds right now are kind of bringing me down a little bit. But let's remember what we said. When those negative weeds just grow in our brain, just like a gardener, we got to get rid of them. So I can't pull them off of paper like we would pull them out of our brain, but what we're going to do is we are going to plant some positive flowers to cover up and get rid of all these negative weeds. So let's get those flowers out that we already made. Here they are. And now I want you to think, what are some positive things, some good things that have been going on lately? I know I said before, I know I said before that when I started having that negative weed of it's snowing, I planted the positive flower and that was, but it's starting to get sunny out. I love that. It's sunny out. That's a positive thing. Or instead of that negative weed, I'm stuck at home. You could plant that positive flower. I get to spend more time with my family. I'm gonna write that down. Or if you're still looking at that math problem and you're thinking, I can't do this, this is too hard. You can plant a positive flower of, I can ask someone for help. I can do this. And you can do it. I believe in you. I can do it. So then when we have our positive flowers, here's my glue. We're going to take those positive flowers and we are going to cover up all of those negative weeds. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the back of my flower and I'm going to pop it right on over these negative weeds. Here we go. Beautiful, so nice and colorful. I love it. Are you ready to see the garden? Here it is. And you're probably thinking, Miss DeZalia, there's still a lot of negative weeds and there's a lot of empty space. This garden is not looking so fantastic right now. It's not looking very positive. You're right. This is where the challenge comes in. We purposefully made a garden that's pretty big to make this challenge a little bit trickier. To do this challenge, what I want you to do is for the next couple of days, or as long as it takes, whenever you think of a positive flower, could be a really, really big positive flower, or maybe it's a really teeny tiny positive flower. Whenever you can think of a positive thing, take those extra flowers that you made, write it down, and add it to your positive garden. So maybe you played a game with your family. It was a lot of fun. That's a positive thing. That's a good thing. Just glue it on. Maybe you got a chance to call your friend and talk to them on the phone. That's a great thing. That is positive. Awesome. Pop it on. Maybe it's your birthday. That's a positive thing. Happy birthday if it is. And pop it on. Whenever you have those positive thoughts, it could be really, really big, like I got to FaceTime with my aunts and uncles who I missed so much. It was awesome. Or maybe it's a tiny positive thing, like I got to wear my favorite socks today. It doesn't matter. It's still a positive thing. It's going to brighten your day a little bit. But when you have that positive flower, put it on your garden until soon you're going to cover the whole thing. It might take you a week. It might take you a few days. Maybe if you're really on a roll and you can think of lots of positive things, maybe you can even do it in one day. Who knows? But at the end, you're going to have this beautiful positive garden. It's going to be covered in colorful, beautiful positive flowers. And at the end, you're probably going to be really, really good at being a positive thinker. You're going to be an expert on positive thinking. And you're probably going to feel good too, because when we think positively, it makes us happier. So that will be your positive garden, except it'll be covered. And if you ask a grown-up in your family first, you could maybe even hang this up on the wall in your room or something so you can see it and it can remind you of all these positive things. That is your positive garden. Let us know in the comments about how your challenge is going, how quickly you were able to complete it. Maybe you could even get some of your family to do this with you, some brothers and sisters, maybe even your parents, See how fast can your family cover the entire positive garden? I'm so glad that you guys did this with me. Have an awesome day. I hope I can see you soon. Bye-bye.